Today we're going to visit an earthquake lab where they simulate earthquakes, and we're going to see how they destroy houses. Wow, that's really cranking.
Had this been a real building, this building would have come down.
Our homeowner works at one of the most famous movie studios in LA, and we'll take you there behind the scenes. And back at our project house, you won't believe the changes.
¿Dónde está la casa?
La tumbamos.
Well, Kevin, this is a real treat, a visit to a movie studio.
And not just any studio, Norm, a classic one. Today it's Sony Pictures, but it used to be MGM, and they've been making movies here for almost 100 years. And you know what? They're still making movies here today. What do you say we have a look around?
We got time for that.
The studio has created a typical American Main Street. They use this to film TV commercials and television shows and even some movies.
This place is amazing. I mean, it feels like we're driving down a real main street.
Wow, it is a big place. I mean, I guess you could get lost, but no, I mean, obviously I'm in the right spot right here. How could I lose Norm? Hey, Norm. Norm!
I'm Norm Abram, and welcome to Jeopardy!
That's terrific.
I could get used to this.
Wow, so this is like the most recognized quiz show in history, Jeopardy! How cool is this?
Right, you know, they're actually filming today, and when they film, they do 5 shows a day in front of a live audience.
Wow.
And Wheel of Fortune is right next door.
Hey, what do you think? We should sneak in a game?
Yeah, I think we should give it a try.
All right, you ask the questions, I will answer them. Let's see. I will take, why are we here for 200?
All right. Sony Pictures is the workplace of this old house homeowner.
I got this. Kurt Albrecht.
Sorry, Kevin. You didn't answer in the form of a question.
I knew that. So Kurt, you and Mary both work in the film business, and you actually both work in animation.
Yep, that's right.
So what do you do here?
I'm the director of production, and I manage the artists that work on the film in its earliest days.
Okay.
One of our best is Justin Thompson. Justin was the production designer on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Hey, Justin, so what are you working on here?
Well, these are some of the drawings that we used to design the suburbs in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
But it starts with a pencil?
It always starts with a pencil.
Really?
Yeah. And then from there, we'll actually do paintings based on those drawings, and we'll create environments for the movie.
Is this all still done by hand?
This is all still done by hand in the computer. And then we got to make it move. And that's where we hand these paintings and these drawings off to another team over at ImageWorks, and they'll model it, and we keep adding other elements, and all these little elements that you see, all the debris, all the cars, the food that you see flying through the screen, all this stuff has to be created by an artist at some point.
All by hand?
All by hand, initially designed, then built in the CG.
And how long does that whole thing take?
Well, this sequence took probably 2 years with the various people working on it.
Just for that sequence?
Just for that sequence.
So how long does the movie take?
The whole movie's like 3.5, 5 years.
Oh my goodness, that is incredible. Well, the good news is it's not going to take that long to renovate your house because the guys are really flying.
They are really moving.
Back here in Silver Lake is our project house, a 1933 Spanish colonial revival. And it's got all the architectural elements you'd expect to see on a Spanish colonial. Take the roof, for instance. That clay tile roof with this distinctive shape and its color. I mean, that's the kind of roof you'd expect to see on a Spanish-style house. And how about the stucco? It wraps the entire house, and it's got that great texture. And then these arches, nice gentle sweeps. I mean, these are the details that made us fall in love with the project and made our homeowners fall in love with their house. Now just imagine you're the homeowner, you come by the job site every day and you look at the front and you say, oh, our little house, nothing has changed. I mean, even on the inside, except for the furniture that's missing, the living room, well, it's pretty much the same with its arched openings and its curved plaster ceiling here, and even the fireplace untouched. I mean, this is the kind of restraint you want to see during a demolition. If you've got beautiful details like these, you don't touch them. You leave them right there. So the living room is as it was, and the dining room, come through the plastic here. This is very familiar, almost untouched in here except for the furniture, right down to the original ceiling medallion. But here is where the familiar ends. Angel!
Hey, Kev, how you doing?
¿Dónde está la casa?
La tumbamos.
You tore it down.
Absolutely.
Oh man, did you guys ever? You tore out the kitchen?
Yeah, this was the old kitchen right here.
Yeah.
Stepping in, we move this way. This is the utility, actually, where the laundry and everything was before.
Used to be. That's
to be.
certainly gone. And look at all this decking back here. Everything is gone.
Yeah, it just looks so spacious now, huh?
Now, down here, we had 2 bedrooms in either corner and a bathroom in this corner, right?
Absolutely. Bathroom was here.
Whew, and it's gone, man.
Yeah, and this is where we ran into most of the problems, actually, right here in this bathroom. We had, the floor was rotted out from the water damage.
So
throughout
underneath the
whole
tiles,
place.
all rotted.
Absolutely.
All right, so it's been patched with what, material on site?
We took the reclaimed material from the roof that we peeled off the roof, and this is actually the roof boards and some of the 2x members.
Awesome, all right. So demolition is pretty much complete, and now it's time to rebuild. You guys are a design build firm, so you're gonna do the work.
Absolutely.
But you've also designed the house. And the program is the kitchen goes back in this area, but we extend it out a little bit.
Right to about here, Kevin.
Yep.
Over here we'll have the living room.
And then we'll have 2 bedrooms and 1.5 baths downstairs.
Yes.
Front of the house stays a single story, but out back we go up a 2nd story.
We're gonna go up to the 2nd story up here, and we have a master suite upstairs.
All right. So how long did all of this demo take you?
The demolition actually took us all of 3 days, Kev.
It always goes fast, doesn't it?
Demo goes extremely fast, but the real work started down here where it's taken us 3 weeks. Back in 1994, we had a real big earthquake, the Northridge earthquake, and that changed our building codes immensely.
And now you build immensely. Look at the size of what you got going on here for the foundation.
Oh, yeah, as you can see, Kevin, this is what took us the 3 weeks to build. To get to this point, we've had to hand excavate with this, take all this dirt out by hand, carry it up the side of the yard and out of here. And as you can see, the guys are just doing the finishing touches before we get ready to pour.
So this thing is massive. It runs the entire length of the back of the house, and then actually we're extending the footprint by how much?
We're actually extending it 8 foot here.
8 feet, and then we're actually going up in the back here. So
Yeah, we're gonna be going up about 3 levels. You've got the crawl space level,
yeah.
which we can see right here, and then you go into the 1st level and the 2nd story that we're adding. That's the new addition to the house.
So that would require a beefier foundation to begin with, but we're really talking about earthquakes for you guys, right?
Actually, we're talking about not just earthquakes, but also there's the hillside ordinance in California.
Which is what? The fact that all of Silver Lake is sort of built on a hill?
Actually, it's all built on a hill, and we're changing the elevations from the property.
All right, so we got hillside ordinance and earthquake. What do we do with the foundation to prevent against?
Basically, my engineer has upgraded this thing immensely. You've got giant number 4 bars in here. As we step down in the bottom, we look into the foot, and you have number 5s here.
Number 5 rebar.
Rebars.
Right.
You have number 6 going around the corner here.
That's a lot of steel.
There's about 2.5 tons of steel actually in here.
Really? But what about this footing? I mean, this is not only a big footing, at least to my eye, but we're used to seeing the foundation wall come down and hit the center of the footing. But on this one, you've got the foundation wall sort of offset on the footing.
Actually, you'll see this footing's about 10 inches wide, which is not too normal anywhere else. It's about normally 6 or 8 inches.
Yeah.
And it's offset for a reason, for the hill pushing. We've got the hill that sits like this. You got the pressure coming this way, and you've got your footing down here.
Right.
It'll keep it from giving you that tilt action.
All right, so we got earthquakes, we got the hill that wants to move against us, so we got lots of steel, oversized footing, and then we're gonna have lots of concrete, right?
We're gonna have lots of concrete. Actually, it's gonna be about 47 yards of concrete, 5.5 trucks.
And it's all gonna be brought back onto this little site.
Oh yeah, we're gonna squeeze it right down this side right here.
Oh, this is gonna be great, Angel. I can't wait to see this pour start.
I can't wait to pour it, Kev.
So Angel, the first truck showing up for us right here. How many we got coming today?
We've got 5.5 trucks coming. This one's probably got about 8.5, 9 yards in it right now.
You were saying earlier that because of the seismic pour, hillside ordinance, earthquake, we got a different mix that we're working with?
Actually, we've got a 3,000 PSI mix where we're gonna have a deputy inspector on site the whole day as we're pouring, where he's gotta take samples of what's going on, and then they take it to a lab, test it to make sure we're up to speed and that the concrete is 3,000 PSI concrete.
So the game plan is we're gonna drop the truckload into this hopper right here.
Actually, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Concrete's gonna come out, put it into the hopper. It'll run through this 4-inch hose here, all the way back to the backyard. We've got about 150 feet of hose. This truck will pump it till it's empty, actually, and then the second one will come right behind it. We're bringing these trucks in about 30, 35 minutes behind each other, one after another.
5 in a row.
5 in a row. See, Kevin, with this 3,000 PSI mix, we've got to get it in the ground immediately because it's coming out and dries so fast.
So this is gonna set up faster than the typical concrete you use?
Absolutely. This sets up, we have about an hour and a half time between the truck getting here and us getting it in the ground because it sets up so fast.
Angel, you got a well-orchestrated crew. You got one guy pumping, one guy vibrating, a third guy using a shovel, and then followed on by a fourth person with a trowel, modeling the concrete in place.
The reason why he's back there with the trowel and everybody's got the system set up is only because we want to keep the concrete at the bottom of the form, so when we go to strip these forms, it's very easy to remove these forms.
As soon as one truck rolls out, we got another truck ready to roll in, and it's a tight squeeze getting up these windy roads. Because of the hillside ordinance and the potential for earthquakes, we've actually reinforced this wall another way. There's this giant threaded rod, several of them all throughout. This goes all the way down into the stem wall and it protrudes so that we can put a metal fastener and then eventually secure all the posts to this wall. You want to stop the house from going up or down during an earthquake, and this is part of that protection. Concrete stopped flowing for a few minutes, suggesting that something was jammed up. Either the hose was plugged, the pump was plugged, or both. They took the elbow off. They know they got the pump unplugged, and now we're going to find out if the hose is unplugged too.
Concrete is flowing now. We had to break down the hose because we had a plug up at the front end of the hose. And when we were trying to take care of the plug there, it plugged up at the pump. So, I mean, that was less than 10 minutes of a little standby time, and that's what will happen with this concrete, with this 3,000 PSI.
So, Angel, now we have got a form coming right through the center of the house. What's this guy going to support?
Actually, this form right here is supporting the upper perimeter of the second floor. So this is where all the transfer load is coming down from the top floor all the way down to this level. Actually, it'll be about 3 levels down. Kevin, as you can see, we poured it less than an hour, and you can actually jump on there. That's so hard right now.
Yeah, you can jump on that?
Jump on it, Kevin.
Oh, no kidding. It's amazing how fast that sets up.
Amazing. We left a couple of boot prints. That's about it, Kevin.
Angel, I just did some math, and 45 yards of concrete is about 91 tons of material that you guys just pumped.
Yeah, Kevin. In 3 hours, 1 clogged hose, you're looking at one happy man.
And we're looking at a brand new foundation. Well done.
Thank you.
Earthquakes are a way of life here in California. And most people think earthquakes kill people when it's actually the buildings that kill them when they fall down. So today we're at a lab where they recreate earthquakes, and today we're going to recreate a big one. Because as we move forward with our project, we want to make sure we use the right mechanical fasteners to make our house hold up to an earthquake. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing, Norm?
Good. Now it looks like you built a couple walls here today, and this one looks pretty ordinary. It might be like a wall we would find when we started our project, just a sill bolted down. Typical studs and sheathing, nothing else more than that.
That's right. This is a typical shear wall that you might have seen constructed back at the same time that the Silver Lake project was done.
Now what are you doing? This thing is starting to move now.
Yeah, it's actually starting to be tested right now. This wall is actually simulating earthquake motion, going back and forth.
So it's going back and forth this way.
That's right.
That's tearing that apart pretty easily.
That's right. So what we're seeing now is a lot of movement, and this is what this test rig does. It measures the wall's strength and actually movement of that wall based on different construction assemblies. So now we're seeing more excessive motion toward the end of this test. We're seeing that the studs are lifting up and the end posts are lifting up off the wall. And that's because there's no hold downs at the end of the wall.
So with the wall constructed like this, about the only thing that will remain is the sill.
That's right. The wall would be coming right up off the sill, and this could possibly cause collapse of the structure.
Right, now this wall over here actually does have hold downs installed.
That's right, this wall has hold downs, and let's see how this wall performs.
Okay. Now the wall seems to be holding together a lot better than the one on the right.
That's right, there's a lot less deflection of movement because of the hold downs. You can see the studs at the ends of the wall are tight to the sill plate still.
Right, and you can see the sheathing racking a bit, but it's still holding down pretty well. Now over here you've built 2 3-story structures, one with furnishings and all.
That's right, and I want you to pay special attention to these rods. This rod is actually only supported at the roof level. And on this shear wall we have the same rod, but we have plate washers actually supporting it at every level.
So as the rod passes through the floor to the sole plate of the wall above, there's a big heavy washer and this nut that's screwed onto the threaded rod at each level.
At every level we're tying off. What we're going to do here is replicate the Northridge earthquake record that was recorded.
Wow, that should be interesting. Wow, there's a lot more movement in the wall on the right than in the left.
Now, had this been a real building, this building would have come down.
So it's clear to me that we want to make sure that we're tied down at every level. Well, you know, the guys have been framing at our house for quite some time. Let's see how they're making out.
Absolutely.
Back at our house, the rough framing is well underway. Angel, your guys are flying.
Yes, we are. We're all the way up to the roof now.
I gotta say, it looks terrific. But we are in earthquake country, and there are a lot of special considerations building a structure like this.
Yes, there is, especially with this shear wall that you can see right here.
Right, so the shear wall is this first wall that you built off of the foundation, in this case, and this stops the lateral movement of the building.
Yes, it does. Also, it controls from down here at the bottom, we're tied to the sill.
All right, nailed right into the sill here.
Carries all the way up the wall, goes past the top plate to the middle of the floor joist.
All right, so you don't want to be at a seam, you want to be at solid wood at all times.
We want to be
along
at
the
solid
edges.
wood, that way when we're tying the structure together to the next level, it all ties in a solid location.
All right, and this is all engineered.
Yes, it is. It's engineered and it's all got a special nail pattern, which you'll see it's 4 and 12 on this wall.
Okay.
4 inches on center, 12 inches
All right.
in the field.
So here I see the 4 inches in center, and that goes all the way around the perimeter of this sheet.
Yes, it does.
And then here, no more than 12 inches on center where you nail into the studs.
In the field, yes.
Now, when you were pouring the foundation, you put in some huge specialty bolts to help tie this building down.
Yeah, and when you go inside, you'll see how we have them anchored down.
All right. Well, Jeff, here we're under the new addition space at the back of the house. Now, originally it was only 1 story. Now we're going to turn it into 2 stories. And this is where the original house ended, right here.
That's right. And let me show you, Norm, the connection method back in the 30s, basically none. If you take a look at the connection between the post and the existing concrete footing here, there's no connection.
There's no bolt, there's only a couple nails.
That's right. And we got a 4x4 post, and you can see it's supporting 2 2-bys here. And it looks like a homeowner probably put in this T-strap maybe about 20 years ago or so. But contrast that to the connection method now.
Right, this is new work to help bring it up to code, basically. And we've got a big engineered beam here, a 10x6, and a real hefty steel post connector here.
Yeah, and it's attaching the beam to this post, this engineered wood post, and then you can see the really robust connection here at the bottom again with this column base to the concrete footing.
Okay, so we're in a pretty serious area. We have to make sure that we do this right.
Absolutely.
So when the foundation was poured, there were a couple different types of bolts installed. These were every 2 feet on center, and they're L-shaped. They have a nice big flat washer on the top.
Yeah, absolutely. These L-shaped bolts are preventing this wall from sliding off the foundation, and this big plate washer that you see here is trying to prevent splitting of the wood.
So in an earthquake, the earth is shifting around, and you don't want this to slip and slide either way.
That's right.
Okay. Now in the corner you have these hold downs, and these are pretty substantial.
Yeah, and these hold downs are trying to prevent that wall from overturning, the uplift force, if you will, at the ends of shear walls.
Right, you don't want it to just fall off.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that has a much larger bolt.
Yeah, and that bolt is pretty embedded pretty substantially down into the concrete
length of this
foundation.
thing.
Yeah, it's a large bolt.
And why not just an L-bolt?
Well, this provides additional bearing area, resistance to the uplift or the pull out of the concrete.
Well, there's no lack of hold downs. We got some more here right on this 4x6 post.
That's right. We have a hold down and it's bolted into the concrete foundation.
Same way as that one.
Same way. And we got this post that it's attached to, and it's running up, and another hold down that's supporting the hold down and shear wall above. And the importance of this is tying the structure all the way from the roof all the way down to the foundation. And this is called a continuous load path.
And that has to be in a straight line.
Absolutely.
So up here on the first floor, we can see the hold down attached to a 4x6 that is directly above the one we just saw down below.
That's right, and this hold down is actually transferring the load from this post, which is supporting this story and the story above, to this hold down through this rod below.
And the 2 hold downs are connected with a piece of threaded rod with a nut on each end.
That's right, through the floor system.
Okay, so the load passes through this post.
That's right, it passes through this post to this hold down here.
And that one is a little smaller.
Yeah, that hold down is supporting the floor above. The big concept in seismic engineering is tying the building together. And here's a perfect example. You see this strap tying this beam across this one to another beam.
Right, because it's interrupted by a cross beam, and you want to make sure those are connected together. So horizontal is as important as vertical connections.
Absolutely.
So up here on the second floor, we're above, directly above the connection we looked at down below, right here.
That's right. And this post is a hold-down post. And imagine if you were in an earthquake, and this earthquake starts shaking the home. Well, you have the roof diaphragm above that's transferring the load horizontally into those roof rafters and blocking, which transfers, there's a metal clip there that transfers the load into the shear wall. That load then comes down through overturning or uplift on this post to the hold-down, which is then secured to the hold-down below.
Okay, so we're tied from the roof sheathing all the way down to the foundation.
That's correct.
Well, you know, I've never had the opportunity, or do I want the opportunity to experience an earthquake, but should I want to be in a house built like this one.
Well, Kevin, down here in the basement, we have full head height and the beginnings of a mechanical system. Here's our furnace for the first floor, gas-fired, going to direct vent to outside. This will heat the air in the winter. Now this section is actually going to cool the air in the summer.
So this is the air conditioning. How are we doing with efficiency?
Well, very high efficiency, actually. It's a variable speed blower, high efficiency condenser outside, and a great installation. Ruben and his boys have done a great job.
Nice.
So this is going to be a two-zone system on the first floor only. We're going to come out here. We're going to send one zone to the east side, and that's the new work, and another one back to the west side, and that's where the sun sets to the old work.
So HVAC is very much underway, and so is the plumbing. Look at all the pipes.
That's right. Noah and his crew have done a great job. This is actually all no-hub cast iron piping.
Which you prefer, because unlike the PVC, you won't hear the wastewater gurgling through this cast
That's
iron.
right. Nice and quiet, as it should be.
Well, what do you say we have a look at the space we're conditioning upstairs?
Thanks, guys.
On the first floor, we're not changing much to the front of the house. The living room and the dining room are virtually unchanged, but we have completely gutted the kitchen, and they're going to get a brand new family room with all this wide open space.
This really is a great space. It's pretty wide open, but it's not the case right over here. In this part of the house, we have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a laundry, and a stair hall jammed into this little corner.
And the HVAC system downstairs just services this floor.
That's right, because we could not fit the ductwork up through this space. We needed a separate system up in the attic. Let me show you. So once this roof goes on, the air handler for the top floor will go right up here. And there's a lot going on up here, Kevin, I tell you. This is going to be a nursery right now, but sooner or later it'll turn into an office.
Right.
Full-size walk-in closet right here. And this is the master suite. Look at this bathroom. Generous bathtub right here with a tub filler on this side. Shower stall, toilet alcove. Perfect window looking out on the lake.
Yeah.
And twin sinks. Not bad.
Not too bad at all, but for me, it is about the views from this bedroom. This is about 8 feet of glass looking out on the Silver Lake, and that's not too bad.
A cloudless day. What a surprise.
Yeah, pretty good. So we got a lot more work to do, and we'll be right back at it next week. So from Los Angeles, California, I'm Kevin O'Connor
I'm Richard Trethewey.
for This Old House.
Was that a vibration?
No,
Was
no.
that an earthquake?
No, no, it's just me.